Welcome to the third revision lesson looking at Anglo Saxon England and the Norman conquest. This lesson will cover the last years of Edward the Confessor and the succession crisis, so that is your heading. We're going to look at these four questions. How powerful were the Godwin family? Why was Harold's visit to Normandy important? Why did people rise up against Tostig? And what happened when Edward died? First question then, how powerful were the Godwins? If you have access to the textbook, you can look on page 19 to 20. Use the family tree to draw a timeline of significant events for the Godwin family. So you can see here, the first one's been done for you. Earl Godwin's daughter, Edith, married King Edward. You can see that on the family tree. You can see that in 1057, two events happen, so two of them become earls. So two events need to be written for 1057. What power did the Godwins have? Use the information around this map to help you make your own mind map of the ways they were powerful, or draw yourself 5 pictures to represent the ways that the Godwin family were powerful. Just checking then, true or false. Each of these statements, you need to read it and decide if it's true, just copy it down. If you think it's false, then change it. So for example, the first statement says Harold became Earl of Wessex in 1063. However, we know that he became Earl of Wessex in 1053, so you would need to correct that in your notes. Copy each of those down, make sure you correct them. We're going to now look at Harold's mission to Normandy. A mission is a type of journey, a journey with a purpose. Often it's taking a message between some important people. So Harold crosses the Channel on a mission to see William, but he lands in an area ruled not by William but by another man, Count Guy of Ponthieu, who takes him prisoner. William hears about this and he forces Count Guy to hand Harold over to him. Harold spends some time then in France with William in Normandy, including fighting in his army in some battles. Because he'd been a loyal soldier to him, William gives Harold gifts of weapon and armour, and you can see this happening in the picture from the Bear Tapestry. And the Bear Tapestry also shows Harold swearing an oath to William, maybe an oath of loyalty to support William's claim to the throne of England. And then right at the edge of that picture you can see one of the ships he's about to leave and come back to England. This is either in 1064 or 1065, we're not entirely sure which year that happened. So what's the importance of this then? One thing it shows is that Harold was really a trusted advisor, trusted by Edward the Confessor to take some kind of important message to William. It shows William and the Normans were important friends of Edward the Confessor. This boosted William's claim to the throne later in 1066 after Edward died. And the Normans also used that story to show that Harold was an oath breaker. They say that he promised loyalty to William and then made himself king. So, based on what we've just covered, can you fill in the gaps in these sentences? So using the story, write these out with what you know about Harold's mission or embassy to Normandy. Okay, thirdly, the rising against Tostig. In the video notes, there is a link to a different YouTube video that you need to watch that will help you to answer these questions in your book. So pause the video, look at the other video that the link is to, and answer these questions. And finally then, the succession crisis. The succession crisis, succession is when you're talking about who is going to come next on the throne, and a crisis obviously when there is a problem. So together those words mean a time when it's not clear who will be the next monarch or king, and the decision is challenged or difficult. So one reason why there's a crisis is that Edward had no children, so there was no one obvious to become the heir. In the picture at the top you can see Edward is the man with the crown on obviously, and Harold is there. Their hands are almost touching, and this is the point at which Edward asks Harold to protect the kingdom, and Harold says this means that he should be king. However, we know there were other people who also had claims to the throne of England. Okay, to finish off then, these are, what I'd like you to do is 4 exam style questions, but they're only the 4 mark ones, so it's really just 2 sentences for each one. Remember, we are giving a feature and then we're adding a description of it. So for each of these 4, you need to follow that. And if you look on Teams, the mark scheme is there to help you. Well done.